Продолжить. Не помню на чем. А, нет, помню. Да, с этими ребятишками, да. Помогите рейверам открыть ночной клуб. Так, а девчули-то чё вы не пускаете к себе?
Hi again. So, how are things going? As always.
The young man with the tape recorder acknowledges your return. When he looks at you, he squints as though you were the setting sun.
This is hardcore. It's hardcore! Skibberdee, skibber danger.
So you had a talk with... It's good you talked to Andre first. Gave me time to get a reading on your side.
Ну, в итоге, да. Я не могу у них спросить, почему они не хотят пускать сюда девчулю. Которой пришлось отдать свою шапку, блин. Ну, денежка. Погоди, а что у меня это? 144 FPS? Я только сейчас обратил внимание. Тут нет ограничений. Блин, из игры выходить не хочу. Ладно, в церковь мы зайдем, но потом.
A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. You could use it to call someone, unless you're out of change. You hear the tone. The machine is inoperable.
Рабочий таксофон, окей. О, это что, халявная куртка?
Someone has left an unidentifiable article of clothing on this railing. It smells really bad. It's streaked with dried seagull shit and tangled with pieces of seaweed. A dangling arm suggests that there might be a jacket beneath the crust of filth. It seems likely that it was left in the surf until someone laid it out on this fence to dry out. Unfortunately, that just seems to have stiffened it into a shapeless mass.
Please tell me you're not taking that with you. It's a guano-encrusted jacket, and you're already carrying around enough as it is.
Ну, это аргумент, согласен. Заляпанная говном куртка нам явно не подойдет. Энциклопедия произвела восприятие. Денежка.
The smell. It's awful and familiar. Don't you recognize it? That hideous pungency, that faintly cloying sweetness. Only death smells like that. Something cold wakes in the pit of your stomach. Fear. The signs of decaying meat. It announces itself from 24 meters away. A warning, a memento mori. The lieutenant has already brought a handkerchief.
Ну, собственно, труп. Но мы его потом пощупаем. Сначала надо этого посмотреть.
There's some tear, an empty cigarette package, and a crumpled kebab wrapper in the trash bin. 2 empty bottles of Tallulah vodka and a can of black potent porter. No, there's more in there. Livis strawberry liquor, plus some Pilsner bottles too. Better not pick them up. They seem unhygienic.
A tragedy.
Whoever tossed it here was a heavy smoker. Red Astra is the black market version of Astra cigarettes, known for their high tar content. You see traces of mayonnaise and ketchup on it, as well as a tomato wedge. The wrapper reads
Shish kebab превосходит.
Shish kebab Revachol. It's no older than a day.
Remove
or
kebab.
two. No mold yet. It's hard to concentrate in the smell. A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent and neck turned at an unnatural angle. Right next to him is an empty bottle of spirits. In his cramped hand, a chewing gum wrapper. The smell is not as bad as a 2-week-old corpse, but it's definitely heading there.
Hold on. Lividity is faintly pronounced. Whoever this is has been dead for 2 days. No longer. We need to investigate.
Another dead body. This is your
Мы
job.
еще то дело не раскрыли. У нас новый труп. Отлично.
Calm now. Carefully. Just another day. Just another dead body. Breathe. He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather jacket with a bright blue lining. There are traces of kebab sauce on his chest. The leather jacket suits him well. It must be custom-made. You find some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library card folded into 2. His jacket feels sodden and heavy under your hand.
Good. We should take a look at that library card after this is done.
The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk and hit his head against the metal bench. Coagulated blood covers his black hair. One of his feet is still dangling through the hole.
Ну все, дело раскрыто. Он пьяненький шел, жрал кебаб. Нога провалилась в настил. И он с размаху ебанулся виском о скамейку. Все, дело раскрыто. Это очередное самоубийство.
You have to be quite inebriated to fall that bad. Well over a liter of pure ethanol. 3 bottles of wine or 1.5 of spirits. Or maybe it was just dark. His expression is dull, like the sea behind him. Drops of water shining on his moustache. His eyes, empty and wide, look frightening in their frozen gaze. Height, 170 to 175 centimeters. Curly hair, stout build. Age, approximately 50 to 60 years. There's some dried blood on the metal bench, right where the corpse's head rests. The floorboards are rotten and slippery wet around the hole. An empty bottle lies nearby. A chewing gum wrapper is clutched in his fist. A dried chunk of blood covers the hair at the back of his head. An open wound. It's sticky and cold to your touch. This is what killed him.
I don't see any other major wounds, do you? Seems like the head wound was fatal. It's exactly the shape of the bench.
They screech under your feet ominously. It's hard to say whether the dead man's weight was the cause of the boardwalk to break. It definitely looks fragile. You see waves churning below. Something cracks beneath your feet. He could have easily disappeared into the sea through that hole, and you would have never found him.
Тоже верно.
A .75 liter Tallulah vodka with its cap missing. There's hardly anything left inside. It's mid-market spirits with a slight touch of menthol. The man meant to enjoy himself, have a good time.
Tear all around us.
Grabowski spearmint chewing gum. Green leaves on the cover. The man's mouth is half agape from the terror of the fall. The blackness of death. Stench. You think you see white chewing gum too?
He ate the whole pack, right? It's to cover the smell of alcohol before going home. The worst thing is, I've seen it before. Almost the same scenario, even the chewing gum. It's always the same.
The entire boardwalk creaks in the wind as you take a step back.
Looks like one of the locals. He'd have to know this spot to come here. You don't just walk over here. But that's just a lazy assumption. What do you think?
At least this man knew how to party. Imagine the same scene
Мы
without...
стали свидетелями гибели великого тусовщика. Кожаная куртка, пустая бутылка водки. Поцеловать кончики пальцев. По мне так это просто очередная старая забыла. Думаю, рано ставить на нем клеймо алкоголика, мы пока ничего не знаем.
We do know that he was married. But you're right. Let's not run ahead. For now, all we know is that he's an unidentified middle-aged man found dead on the Martinez boardwalk. Death by misadventure. He slipped and fell through the boardwalk. A truly unfortunate accident. If it wouldn't have been for that bench, he'd be alive. Oh yes.
Oh, yes.
Some symptoms of acute alcohol poisoning could have definitely played a role here. Severe confusion, respiratory depression, unpredictable behavior. But I think that death arrived through head trauma, not liver failure. They'll seal this place off after the news reaches the coalition officials. I doubt that they have enough resources to actually repair the boardwalk. Not that sealing it off would keep anyone away. All it does is keep the city council's hands clean. It does seem to be a pretty straightforward misadventure, although there's still a question of identifying the body. From where I stand, I can see two options. We either take the case and follow the leads to identify the body on our own, or we report back to the station and leave this for our colleagues to handle. A field autopsy isn't necessary if the cause of death doesn't appear to be criminal, and this looks like a simple accident to me. I'd say we should just write down head trauma in the autopsy report and leave it at that. It would save us at least 2 hours of unnecessary work. Maybe, but we don't really have much time or resources to spare. The guys at processing will take care of the rest. Alright, we should first examine the library card you found. Then we can call the station from my kinema. Let them know we are taking the case.
Но просто так будет правильно поступить, да?
The library card is folded into two and still slightly wet to the touch. The front side reads, Central Jamrock Public Library Card, issued to Billy Mejean, expires July 53. Billy is a unisex name. Could be the deceased, or his family member. Whoever owns this card is an avid reader. You find a list of books written in blue pencil. Radio thriller. Stand a little less between me and the sun. The last one in the list is The Glinton Curve by M. Theobald. A library stamp indicates that the book has been returned. Most of these titles seem to be in the sci-fi genre. Some thrillers too. If lost, please return the card to the library. Dial 005 02 55211 or visit us
Ну, можно
at
сейчас как раз
Monroe
позвонить,
Street,
тут телефон
78
стоит рядом.
Jamrock. Business hours 900.
Good. We should give them a call from my kinema. See if we can learn anything about Billy Mejean.
Good idea. There was plenty of information here to go by.
А, ну или можно... Ну просто до его машины идти, я ебал сколько. Сколько там звонок с телефона? Погоди, погоди. Если звонок не очень дорогой, то можно и отсюда позвонить. Сколько он там стоит? По-моему, 10 копеек он стоит.
You pick up the handset. There's a tone. The machine is operable.
10 центов, да.
Calling. Still calling. This feels wrong. Should you be doing this?
А, он набрал какой-то другой номер. А, случайный номер.
End of tone. Someone picks up.
Pierre, is that you, Pierre?
Судя по голосу этой женщины лет 100.
Do you have any news about Pierre? He's my sister's grandson. He used to visit me as a lad. Fine young man. But who are you then? A salesman of some sort? Modern goods are rubbish, and I can't afford them anyhow. It's a shame what you did to our country. To hell with the police. To hell.
Her voice is drowned in white noise. Sounds like wet. You get a sinking feeling. It makes you look if Lieutenant Kitsuragi overheard you. To your relief, he did not.
Никто ничего не видел. Понятно. То, что мы из полиции, лучше не говорить.
You pick up the handset. There's a tone. The machine is calling. Still, this feels end of tone.
Pierre, is that you, Pierre? So nice of you to find the time to call me. It gets so lonely. If are you sure you're Pierre? Your voice, it's...
Her voice is drowned in white. You get a sinking feeling. It makes you look if Lieutenant Kitsuragi over...
Блядь, ну это очень специфический набор реплик. Нужно, чтобы продолжать с ней разговор. Я хочу добиться от этой старухи истины. Она мне выложит, сука, всю правду.
You pick up the handset. There's a tone. The machine is calling. Still, this feels end of tone.
Pierre, is that you, Pierre? Do you have any news about Pierre? He's my sister's... But who are you then? A salesman of some sort? Modern goods are rubbish, and I can't afford them anyhow. It's a shame what you did to our country.
Так, а что у нас спрашивают? Что-то ужасное качество.
This is because we are bred to be leaders. I can hear the common or mixed background from your voice. I just so wanted it to be Pierre. Have a pleasant evening, prankster.
Disconnect tone.
Так, погоди, Получается, в библиотеку...
You pick up the handset. There's a tone. The machine is operable.
Чайный номер, не. Блин, ну серьезно, это мне сейчас возвращаться к тачке? Ну это очень далеко. Это прям очень далеко. Это пиздец как далеко. Опа. Опа. Это не наш случайный автомобиль здесь лежит? Ну не Кима, у Кима-то с автомобилем все в порядке. Может быть, это мой автомобиль?
A banged up motor carriage lies half submerged in the icy water, slowly sinking into the Insulindian Ocean. Only the cabin top, rear wheels, and the engine remain visible. Remember the tire tracks in Martinez? This is where they were leading.
It appears to be so. I agree. We should definitely investigate.
You get a sudden, sinking feeling. Stomach acid comes up as you look at the motor carriage in the deep,
Да это наша
dark,
машина.
cold water.
Такая же полицейская машина, как и у Кима. Так что это стопудово наша машина.
The motor carriage is properly stuck in the ice. Getting it out would require a team of specialists. A single day in the salty seawater would ruin most vehicles, but this one looks worn even in places the salt water hasn't touched it. The logo is too deep in the murky water. You can't make it out, but you do see a monkfish float by.
The ice hasn't closed around the vehicle yet. My guess is it's been here since last Saturday or Sunday.
The estimate is correct. The incident probably occurred on Sunday evening. Your mocking tone finds no response, but the motion of the waves.
I did not. But I'd say it has been here since last Saturday or Sunday. Let's wait for the low tide and see what's inside.
Great idea. Then we can get the things inside. The joyrider must have left something
Вот
good
по-любому
inside.
внутри машины
Guns,
лежит наше удостоверение.
Maybe a cool jacket. A joyrider.
Удостоверение? Не, пушка наша мы знаем где, а вот удостоверение...
I don't know. An hour or two tops?
Сесть на качели и ждать отлива? Серьезно? То есть у меня других вариантов никаких нет, только сесть и ждать?
As you sit down in the old rusty playground, the world around you becomes very silent. The hinges creak under your weight, dangerously so. Nothing but the sound of seagulls high above in the sky, echoing like distant laughter. Ice cracks around the blue motor carriage in the sea. Spit
Да,
flies
блядь,
from your mouth.
83, блядь, процента! 83! Как это может быть провал, блядь? Меня прям бесит эта хуйня. Ёбаный XCOM, сука. Я понимаю, что 83 это не 100%, но все равно 83. Должно скорее получиться, чем не получиться. $83, блядь, процента, сука.
You pick up the handset.
Ну хотя, опять же, было на 94
The
провал.
machine is operable.
Видимо, ничего святого в этих видеоиграх нет.
still calling.
Даже при 99 будет провал.
This end of turn.
Pierre, is that you, Pierre? So nice of you to find the time to call me. It gets so lonely. Even the animals have died. Are you sure?
Her voice, you get a sinking feeling. It makes you look if Lieutenant Kitsuragi overheard you. To your relief, he did not.
Просто, блин, сука, так это бесит. 83, блядь, процента. Если бы я квиксейвился, блин, сразу. На месте. А я все время забываю об этом. Тварь, сука, ненавижу эту игру.
This is it, the scene of the party. The fire pit. Cigarettes and empty bottles all evidence it. Not as such. I'm talking about what came after. Looks like they were here a while. Judging from all the bottles, the sunken motor carriage provided them a focal point. Like a goose ice sculpture or a chocolate fountain.
Looks like it. Hey, let's keep moving, detective.
A banged up motor. Remember the tire?
It appears to be so. I agree.
You get a sudden. The motor carriage. A single day in the logo is too.
The ice.
The estimate is correct. Your mocking tone finds no response, but the motion of the waves.
Yes, quite. Let's wait for the...
Great idea.
I don't know.
As you sit down in the old, rusty playground, the world around you becomes very silent. The hinges creak, nothing but the sound of seagulls high above in the sky, echoing. The tune on your lips forms a strange, yet undeniably beautiful contrast with the surrounding bleakness. The lieutenant gives you a quick glance, then, still looking straight ahead, he joins you with a higher pitched and slightly more melodic trill. Two birds on a wire, whistling by the seaside, looking at the water and the sunken car. The clouds pass in the sky, and the shadow of the swing moves like the hour hand on a timepiece. 30 minutes have passed.
По-моему, нихуя не изменилось.
Looks like this might take a while. Time to present a good topic for discussion.
Так, охеренная тема для разговора. Немножко расизма. Или типа немножко негодовать. Или абсолютно дебильный вопрос.
Well, historically, leeches have been used to prevent and even cure many ailments.
Okay, he's thinking. I can do this. Let's do this. Who'd want to sit on an anthill? There are no therapeutic benefits to... Well, napalm ants, for example, are used in some rites of passage rituals. Clouds on the horizon grow darker, and the shadow of the swing set keeps climbing. You hear the distant rumble of the city. 30 minutes pass.
Luckily, I am already a member of an independent organization, and therefore do not have to choose between a rock and a hard place.
Your voice echoes on the water. strange and out of place.
Эти
in
разговоры,
the
они просто
environment.
реально убить
30
время.
more minutes pass.
Yes, 41. What do you think it stands for?
Участок.
It's as if he knows what it stands for, but wants you to say it. It's pedagogical.
Да это и с самого начала было понятно, что это наша машина.
Does he know something about the driver of this vehicle?
I'm sorry, Harry. I'm so sorry.
41. Precinct 41. A massive pit opens up in your stomach, and the most terrible feeling comes over you.
Да, но это с самого начала было понятно. Как будто прям такая, ой, интрига была, пиздец. Чья же эта машина? Абсолютно точно такая же, как у Кима. С учетом того, что мы проебали все свое снаряжение, почему мы не могли проебать и машину?
No. Just nope. Say no to this, Harry.
I'm afraid so, yes. It looks like you drove your police motor carriage into the sea after you jumped across the canal. Detective, we don't. A rescue operation really isn't viable at this point. I'm afraid it will have to be there like that for many years. Look at it. Parts of it might be salvageable, but overall, this machine is a write-off. People are more valuable than machines. Training a police officer is even more costly. That is very unlikely. All the electrics are toast. That goes for the electromagnetic steering and brake systems as well. You'd be lucky to find one undamaged
Но
component. in
двигатель
there.
по-любому целый.
In a few months, there will be nothing
Ну,
but rust left of this
более-менее.
vehicle. It'll be cheaper to buy a new one. Well, not cheaper. This motor carriage costs 40,000 yuan.
Ёбаный в рот,
But in the
40
long run,
тысяч
it still
реал,
makes more sense to buy a new
бля.
machine than try to refurbish this. Let's face it, this is a substantial loss to your district's budget. I mean, my station only has 4 other vehicles in addition to my kinema.
This was 20% of the station's vehicular budget.
Пиздец, блядь, 20% бюджета участка. Какой же он кретин, этот Гарри, просто.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and doesn't say anything.
You can still whistle. Besides, the night is always darkest before the dawn. Of whom? I don't think so. If anything, you were probably drunk.
Probably. Try definitely.
Наверное, да наверняка был бухой.
Yes. Let's go take a look.
Надеюсь, там удостоверение. Да, сука, удостоверение. И мундир командира РГМ. О, он еще и командиром был. А что мне это дает? Плюс полицейская волна, плюс визуальный анализ. А это у меня еще полицейская волна, плюс трепет. Давай-ка. Ох ты, бля. Выглядит с этими брюками отвратительно. Чё, погоди.
A police badge on which you see the photo of a man. You. Some seaweed is stuck to the back.
At least something good came out of all this.
Encased between 2 durable plastic sheets is a bluish card with lines of information and a watermark in the shape of the street grid of Revachol West. You see a photo, a name, a rank, a document number, the date of issue, and in the lower right corner, your precinct.
Осталось оружие добыть.
The man keeps winking at you with his green-grey eyes. The photo is old, no doubt about that. But the badge is new. You used an old photo for a new badge. 8, maybe 10 years. The guy in the picture is rather good-looking. He's got a nice haircut and is distinctly lacking in massive sideburns. What do you think? His face is already contorted by the expression, although it looks less grotesque on him than it did on you. It looks like you had quite the charming face way back then. Your hair is brown and slightly curly. Your eyes seem more clear somehow. The lack of alcohol swelling is a bonus, though there's a pinch of that in your cheeks already. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information on it, and a shining watermark.
Harrier, that's long for Harry. So you are Harry. Evrard was half right. Probably not a lot of people know your full name. Whoever told him you're Harry Dubois didn't.
Что за имя такое Гарье?
It's a wartime name, revolutionary. The kind mothers give their sons during troubled times, like Undying or Boxer or Ironhide.
A name like armor.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, Harrier Dubois.
The badge in your hands shines
Тебе
as you
нравится?
rotate it,
Был вариант ответа?
catching light.
Фу, мне
You
не
see
нравится. Я не
lines
хочу
of
быть Гарье
information.
Дюбуа.
Lieutenant W. Freighter. The lieutenant is a rank above sergeant and below captain. It's the highest rank in the RCM that still does field work. I am a lieutenant. The title of Freighter is added to your rank when you decline a promotion to a higher rank. In your case, captain. You have declined twice, thus you're W. Freighter.
Неплохо.
There are many reasons one would do this. The rank above you in your precinct's décomptage might be taken, or sometimes promoted officers do not want to replace their superiors, out of respect. And sometimes they just prefer the type of police work available to their current rank, in your case, lieutenant.
Я думал, мое звание алкаш. Как это жалко, конечно.
Décomptage is the hierarchical system employed by the Revachol citizens' militia. It means counting down to twos.
The countdown is modeled after the dual leadership system employed by the left during the revolution, which in turn was developed by last century experimental psychologists in the University of Königstein.
The lowest rank is junior officer, usually teenagers. Then there are the patrol officers, then sergeants, lieutenants, and then a captain. That's basically it, except for a few kings. Kings like satellite officers and the additionally a freighter rank I already explained.
The long and short of it is, you're his superior.
Да и так было понятно, что мы старшего по званию. С учетом того, сколько он дел раскрыл, и вообще, в принципе, понятно, что он работает дольше.
You are given the title of satellite officer if your partner is quickly promoted through the ranks and you rise with him. You don't seem to be a satellite. No, I've been putting up with you because despite an unconventional approach, you are doing good police work. It matters more than driving your motor carriage into the sea. And now we've even found your badge.
Такой, ну мы еще и удостоверение ваше нашли. Ну, плюсов явно же больше. Ну, машину утопил, да.
He trusts you for now. Try not to spoil it.
Yes, apparently you've had a rather successful career in the past, and this leads me to believe maybe your current situation is only temporary. Good.
Such a small yet precious thing. Expensive paper caught between thick plastic, like a fly.
That's just the serial number. Revachol, Jamrock, Precinct 41, with some numbers thrown in there for good measure.
The numbers are not there for good measure. They have an administrative purpose, one that's unfortunately been erased from your memory.
И он точно помнит, что эти цифры важны. Но почему, не помнит.
4 months ago, I'm guessing that's when you were promoted to the rank of Lieutenant W. Freighter. A new badge usually comes with a new rank. You seem to have been doing well then.
The case created a lot of edge you have to take off. The death march really gets us going. You're pretty sure you weren't doing well, but better? Probably yes.
Yes, it's the designation of your precinct. 41, like mine says 57. The 57th is mostly industrial harbor, a lot of asphalt. The 41st is... it's a tough station to work in. You have all of Jamrock to cover. That district should have 3 precincts, but money is what it is. But then again, it's a legendary district, and a hell of a station too. It must be an honor and a curse to work with people like Price, McCoy, Berdiayeva.
Roberts, Feuerbach, Dimitri. Suddenly, names from your decomptage. He knew all those people, although they're not from his station. They must be big. The badge in your hand
Так, где у нас тут подъем? Ну тут, по идее, мужичок должен быть, которого женщина в отеле ищет. Почему-то его там не... А может быть, это он мертвый там валяется?
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone. A metallic drawer slides out from under this. The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Hold on, officer. I've got Central Jamrock Public Library on the line, and I've already introduced you to their librarian. Connecting the call in 2, 1.
Yes, this is Central Jamrock Public Library here. How can I help you, officer? Billy Majon, you said. Give me a moment, I'll have to check our database. Yes, hello, are you still there? I found Billy Majon's home address, is that alright? No phone number, unfortunately.
They're too poor to have a phone line.
Here we go, sir. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33B, apartment number 20. It's in Martinez, I believe. Cape Side Apartments, it says.
That's where the smoker on the balcony lives, isn't it?
It says here that they returned their last book just a few days ago, but I wasn't at work that day. Marie? Marie? Do you remember a reader named Billy Majon? They returned a Tybalt book the other day. Yes, it was my colleague Marie. She said that it was Billy's husband who returned the book. He also asked for this new sci-fi release.
То есть все-таки Билли это женское имя.
But we don't have it yet.
Good. You have a name now.
Sorry, no. Marie only knows him by sight. Marie? She said it was an older man, and that she's pretty sure he'd had a drink or two the last time she saw him. 1 second. Sorry, Marie wasn't really paying any attention to that. Marie knows Billy. She's been working here longer than me. Happy we could help. Goodbye, officer.
Anything else you need from me? Not yet. But I was able to convince the database people to share private sector information. They promised to get back to me by tomorrow morning. Do you have any other questions? One moment. Can you please describe the body? Age, sex, cause of death?
We suspect he might have been inebriated when he fell. There were bottles all around him, and traces of vomit on his shirt.
Any signs of violence? No field autopsy necessary.
You can hear her quickly typing in the background.
What about his belongings? Did you examine his clothes? Any information on the library card? Good. You have a lead.
Да, сейчас мы
Do
по ней
you and
пойдем.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi want to take the case, or should I assign it to someone else? I have assigned the case to Lieutenant Kitsuragi. Please follow up on this library lead to identify the man. We'll send someone to take the body to the morgue. That's all for now. Thank you for reporting in. Is there anything else I can do for you? 57th. Oh.
In the cabin, you see
Отправляйте с Билли Межан, чтобы сообщить. Так, какая квартира? 20, да?
Give me a moment. It's about Victor, isn't it? It's always about Victor with her. You'll find the Maisons in apartment 20 upstairs. It's one of those doors on the balcony.
Ну, даже бабуля сразу поняла, что дело. Про муженька ее.
a weathered brown door. The number reads 20. Something smells good. Soup allongio. The lieutenant motions to you to go ahead and knock.
You're right. Let's talk this through.
You hear light footsteps passing by the door and some folk music playing on the radio.
We have our first preliminary identification. In all likelihood, the deceased is the husband of Billy Méjean. We need to confirm this, as well as deliver the death notification to Billy herself. Now, delivering a death notification is never an easy task. There's a reason why it's often called the most stressful part of our job. This is why it's usually done in pairs. You got this. I'll be monitoring reactions, ready to act if necessary. Dead? Just don't say that you know how they feel. You don't.
The lieutenant motions towards the door.
Hello? Who is it?
And someone turns down the radio.
The police. A moment, please give us a moment.
Дайте нам минутку. Кому нам?
Tidying up, nervously.
Come in, the door is open.
Ну, естественно, я сейчас тут все обыщу. Вы как бы это самое... Ага, не шалите тут. Это полицейское расследование. Звезд, учение Саша. О, тут еще и детеныш живет. Здравствуйте, детектив. Откуда ты знаешь, что я детектив? Мы уже встречались. С макаронами. Те, говорит, стат какой-то еды. Пахнет гречкой и луком. Ну, давайте.
It's you from the book stand.
О!
Come to bring my cockatoo back?
Блин, а мы же уже встречались. Это мы ее там типа обнимали. Тогда понятно, почему. Откуда она знает, что я детектив?
I don't think I introduced myself properly. I'm Billy. Would you like something to drink? Tea? Lemonade? We're out of coffee.
The lieutenant has taken off his foggy glasses and is busy cleaning them in his handkerchief for now. You're on your own here.
Is this about Victor, my husband? Is he in some kind of trouble again? I can come pick him up in the station if that's what.
Keep it together. You don't want your body language to tell her the news.
Sorry, I'm rambling. It's just that Victor often gets into all kinds of trouble. So, how can I help you?
How about some small talk before you break the news? You've done this before. Just keep your focus.
What did you say? Oh. Oh. But he was just...
But he was just here. Alive.
Так часто и бывает, что вот он вроде бы еще живой, а потом оп, и все.
We understand this comes as a huge shock. I want you to know that me and my partner are here for you if you have any questions. Take your
What happened to him? Was he drunk? I see. And you just found him there, lying in the cold.
Ну,
How
да,
long had he been there?
пару дней.
If you say 2 days maybe, it will be etched in her mind forever.
М. Если ты сейчас скажешь, может, пару дней.
She blinks, eyes welling up with tears, as her hand starts searching for something from the pockets of her dress. The handkerchief. A small, terrified smile quivers on her face as she takes the handkerchief and wipes away the tears. She looks disoriented.
Is there anyone we could call for you? A friend, a family member, someone who could be here for you?
No, no. I just need to tell my girls.
А, тут еще и несколько детенышей.
Unreal.
Да.
God. Should I call them? Should I tell them to come home?
No. A day.
Good. That's probably the right thing. Thank you. Just tell me, what do I need to do next? Where is he? Can I see him?
We've taken him to the city morgue. The local coroner will be contacting you shortly to arrange the funeral. Here's his number in case you want to contact him earlier.
A very good call.
Угу. Ты молодец, Ким.
Is there anything else that the RCM could do for you?
No, I'll call you if something comes up. I'm still... Thank you. Thank you for telling me. I'll call if...
We should step outside and talk.
Да уж.
You did well. I'll call the station when we're finished with the day and let them know the name of the deceased. That's it. We should get back to our case now that our duty here is done. They'll manage. Let's go.
Ну, хотя бы, вот, пожалуйста, целое дело раскрыли. Ну да, но как бы не очень было такое, но тем не менее, дело раскрыто. Я его завершил там буквально. Но если бы мы на тачку не сидели, не пялились еще, то я бы его еще быстрее завершил. Так, с этим мы разобрались. Удостоверение я нашел. Оружие мы знаем у кого, но пока не можем его достать. Какие у нас еще есть? Брейвером, ага, решите. Эти треники, укуна. Вот это раскаление, что Мэл не вернулся с еще беспокойно. Пойдем попробуем. Может быть, он к ней уже пришел сам. Потому что шлюз-то мы закрыли в этом.
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
Ты кто вообще такой? Ты кто, черт?
Hi, gendarme.
А!
Hello, hello. So what brings you here?
Почему же тебе все не дает покоя у манеры?
Bye-bye,
Ща.
gendarme.
42% все-таки.
It's the sports.
Ну то, что абьюз квиксейвом можно, конечно, игру по-хорошему правильнее не
It's the
абьюзить,
sports.
но мне просто хочется, когда у меня все получается, хотя бы в видеоиграх.
Hi again, gendarme.
Could he be a member of the homosexual underground? This sexual thing seems interesting. Ask around. Become involved.
Да, поспрашивай, внедрись, да, в гомосексуальное подполье.
Just pointing it out. We're not talking about some kind of cult with members here. You made it up.
The homosexual underground? Why, yes, I am, officer. Why? Do you want to investigate?
Да, я бы хотел побольше узнать об этом подполье.
Oh, it's a pleasure group. A Sub Rosa pleasure group congregating in cellars under the cover of night. Saturday night. Sometimes even Friday night. Or Thursday night. Sometimes the congregating doesn't even end. It carries on into our daily life. Oh, we're ambitious. We want to destroy the last vestiges of meaning, the last things people in Rebishul have to hold on to, the true symbols of security. The meaning of man and woman, mother and father, their marriage. Everything will be constantly shifting and moving under our rule. The future will belong to a circus of identities just
Yes.
spinning around.
Сразу,
surreal
диско,
and
с диско оно
unreal.
связано?
You won't even know who you are anymore.
Но мне нравится знать, кто я такой. Он тем более недавно только узнал.
Yes, we listen to a lot of disco. Some say we engineered disco to spread our vision of a
А, погоди, у них можно будет катушку взять, чтобы в караоке спеть.
Is a razzle dazzle of gold.
Вот где можно будет катушку с песней взять, чтобы под караоке
We are
спеть.
going to change the family unit with all this razzmatazz and finger dancing. And with mysteries. Of course, the mysteries are also of sexual nature, very esoteric. You can't just get into it. You have to be born into it. One is either already in the homosexual movement or forever excluded from it. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's exactly what we're looking for. Who knows, maybe you were homosexual in the past. Maybe all of that has been repressed.
Ну, мне кажется, это не так
I have to
работает.
say that you do look like someone who might be part of the underground. You have that very distinctive, I can't understand what's going on here look. Do think about it, officer. Absolutely wonderful.
A man like you can figure out his sexuality in a working day. It won't be 20 hours unless you want to enter the heightened realms of the phantasm erotique afterwards. It may be 20 hours or more, but that would be on your own.
Я думаю, очень маловероятно, что он принадлежал к гомосексуальному подполью. Хотя человек с именем Гарье Дюбуа, может быть, я не знаю.
Admiring the atmosphere. What about you, officer? Really? Well, I look forward to that. Oh yes, let's see. He knocked on my door a few days after the lynching. I think he was going through the entire building, asking questions. Nothing. That I didn't see anything. Why shouldn't he? What friend? No, I don't think it came up. Muscular, handsome, yes, but he was speaking to someone on his earpiece. Yes, you know those tiny speaker microphones that fancy security guards sometimes wear. Just reporting back whatever I was telling him. Oh, let me think. He had an accent. He sounded like one of those mercenaries.
Акцент и то, что он был как шкаф. Окей.
He sounded vaguely Oranese. No, not vaguely, scratch that. He sounded definitely Oranese. Sure. Anything else on your mind? You did. And how did you like him? I told you, he can be very useful. I guess that's the charm of powerful people. A visitor from the first world. He's not like you and me, gendarme. He can always return to his opportunities in Occident, sur la clé. Still, his coming and going brings some life to the village. Or is it just money? I don't know. Friends, I told you that he won't be there when times get tough. It is. On Sundays. He has keys. Bye-bye, gendarme.
Так, о чем мне за мысль по поводу подполья? Да. Ну, блин, под это целую клетку придется освободить. А эффект? В принципе, я могу посмотреть в гайде, какой это эффект окажет. Стоит ли вообще на это время тратить? Так, подполье. Пройти в проблемы нету. Решение. Герой перестает зацикливаться на сексуальности, позволяет обсуждать сексуальность с напарником. И все? Ну, что-то как-то, ну, такое себе. Причем написано плюс-минус. Герой перестает зацикливаться в сексуальности. То есть это как и плюс, и так и минус. И плюс позволяет обсуждать... Ну, блин, какой смысл в этом вообще? Как это поможет хоть в чем-то? Не знаю. По-моему... Ну, блин, мне нужна песня, чтобы в караоке спеть. Я думаю, у них есть она. Черти, блин, а? Подполье. Сука.
You look like shit. And I don't mean that as a metaphor.
Знаю, так и задумано.
Like undercover?
Well, as far as disguises go, this is one of the best I've seen. I mean, I could swear you're an actual bum.
Просто вошел в роль.
Oh, come on, Jean. It looks like it's been a rough week on him.
It's not just this week. What do you want?
There's something about this guy that matches with a face in your head. A similar but different face. He might be wearing a disguise. There's something that binds...
Сука! Блядь, сейчас с этим заново все диалоги.
Hi again, gendarme. Admiring the atmosphere. What about you, officer? Really? Oh yes, let's... Nothing. Why shouldn't he? What friend? No. Muscular. Hands. Yes, but he was... Yes, you know, just reporting back. Oh, let me think. He sounded vaguely... Sure. Anything else on... You did. I told you. A visitor from... To his opportunity. Or is it just my... Friends, I told... It is. He has keys. Hmm? What about me, gendarme?
It's
Да,
the
блядь,
sports.
надо было
He's
с
a
этого.
sports guy.
Сука, как бесит меня все это говно.
Hi again, gendarme.
Could he be this just pointing it?
The home of... Why, yes, I am, officer. Oh, it's a pleasure group. A Sabrosa pleasure. Or Thursday night. Sometimes... Oh, everything will be constantly shifting and moving under our rule. Yes, we are going to change the family. You can't just get into it. Beautiful. I have to say that you do look like... Do think about it. Absolutely.
A man like you.
Admiring the atmosphere. Really? Oh yes, let's... Nothing. Why shouldn't he? What friend? No. Muscular. Yes. Yes, you... Just reporting back. Oh, let me think. He sounded vaguely... Sure. Anything else? You did. I told you. A visitor to his opportunity. Or is it just my... Friends, I... It is. He has keys. Hmm? Bye-bye, gendarme.
Все, теперь спокойно сохраняемся и опять давай испытывать удачу.
You look like shit. And I don't mean that as a metaphor.
Like,
Well,
oh, come on.
it's not just...
There's some... He might be wearing a disguise. You know what it is. It's like the two of you know each other.
Oh, I definitely know you from somewhere.
Another life.
Yes, from another life. A different life. Maybe the life of a police officer belonging to the ranks of the... To what station do you think you would belong in this alternate and totally fiction?
I think even in this fictional reality, the 57th would still be my station.
Сука, я забыл. Мне почему-то 57-й кажется, а, блин, у него уже 41-й. Сука! Оба! Ну это надо, блин, участки перепутать, сука, ну как так-то? Мне все это 57-й, 57-й, но они уже 41-й.
You look like and I don't...
Like...
Well,
Oh, come on.
it's not just...
There's something. He might be wearing a disguise. This.
Блин, теперь опять мне удачу ловить с этим... Сука же дурак.
You look like shit. And I don't mean...
Like...
Well,
Oh, come on.
it's not just...
There's some. He might be wearing a disguise. You know what it is. It's like the two of you.
Oh, I definitely...
Another life.
Yes. To what station? Okay, okay. That's plausible. That's entirely plausible. Now we're really getting somewhere. Somewhere good. Okay.
Мне нравится, что в озвучке он всего лишь сказал «Окей», а у нас там в субтитрах целый абзац написали.
Let's be crazy. Let's say you and I are partners. How's that for a thought experiment? Would you now, or would I be cramping your style? Never mind, partner. Oh god, I'd hate for that to happen. You know what might help prevent that though? You doing your fucking job. Oh no, no, no. You see, I enjoy watching other better cops solve crimes. And let me tell you, it's been quite a privilege seeing you work.
This isn't helping.
You're not going to believe this, but police officers. Yes, sir. Solving crimes, locking up bad guys, and get this, and not getting that drink on at 2 o'clock. Just some regular boring motherfuckers in suits and uniforms. Nothing spectacularly Oh, it's you, you eccentric genius. I mean, with your unorthodox approach to police work, it has to be you. Not even a little bit.
It's an urban myth about an officer who is so far undercover he can't remember who he is. As I said, just an urban myth. You are not the son of Lang.
Okay, yes, you get the joke. Leave it at that.
Neither can I, partner. Neither can I. Yes, it's a hobby of mine.
As if waiting for some kind of reaction or response.
I'm not getting involved in this.
Такой просто... Ким, кто это?
About what? You don't look like a cop. You know what you look like? Exactly. No.
No, he doesn't.
If I wasn't clinically depressed, I'd burst out laughing. But I'm gonna go with no right now. Actually, I don't want to hear you say things.
Come on, Jean.
Okay, say things. I want to hear you say things.
Hear that? He wants you to say things. Say one. Suddenly, out of nowhere, case-related things start popping up in your head.
So, do you know who hanged him? Yeah, I can see that. I don't know. Why are you?
It's like you felt it would be intellectually stimulating and would lead somewhere. A custom even? Strange.
Oh my god, there's more. You want something more? Okay, why not? So, Do you know who hanged him? Yeah, I don't know. Oh my god, there's more. You want something more? What is it? Okay. Let's be crazy. Let's say you and I are partners. No, because in this thought experiment, we're all police officers. In a police station, we don't do crimes. We're not crime bros.
Come on, stop it.
Neither can I. Watch out for yourself.
That voice, so very familiar.
Oh, really? I wonder where. That's the where you remember me from?
Я уже не помню этот голос.
Okay, then. It's probably a coincidence.
Okay, the man with the sunglasses and his hypothetical Station 41. Weird, right? There's something missing here. Something you can't put our finger on. You know what? Just ask him. I know it sounds crazy, and you'll probably get laughed at. Yes, just cross it off the list.
Again? I can't believe... I'm going to say no. Just to see what you'll say to that. What'd you say? Okay.
Jean, he said okay. Give it a rest.
Okay, I was clearly wrong. He is a firefighter, male nurse, animal control agent, something of that kind. Not a cop. Go on with your cop work. Don't let me stop you again.
Не, ну мы явно тут что-то... У нас что-то наклевывалось, но я, как обычно, все испортил. Явно в деле был бы прорыв. Но я, как обычно, все испортил.
The woman in an RCM patrol officer's uniform winces as she...
I would really prefer not to talk to you right now.
As Lieutenant Kitsuragi explained, a patrol officer is the lowest rank in the RCM, below lieutenant and sergeant.
Yes, I am. I know.
He's the real deal. He has the badge.
Спасибо, Ким. Спасибо, сука, поддержал братуху.
It's hard to tell whether he's sarcastic or sincere. But if you had to guess, you would say the
Да.
lieutenant is being sarcastic.
Да, практически 100% он
I'm definitely not the cavalry. I don't know. I mean, why would I want to talk to you? No, you haven't wronged me. It's okay. Okay, fine. Let's talk.
What does one
What precinct?
Fucking deranged lunatic.
You're getting an intellectually unsatisfying vibe from this
Это его бывшая
conversation.
жена.
Maybe you're doing something wrong.
Это его бывшая жена. Или девушка. Или муж. Хрен его знает.
God damn it, you leave her alone. Keep your weird bullshit to yourself and be professional for once, for fuck's sake.
Он к ней домогался. Или приставал. Или это его бывшая жена. Или муж.
Can I actually help you with something?
Yes, of course. Preposterous. I mean, you would remember if they were, right? Who forgets their squad mates? That's not possible.
Of course I'm with him. Why do you ask?
You're an asshole. You know what? Maybe we're both assholes.
Please, let's not turn this into another exchange, okay? I don't know what to say.
Don't say anything, Judith. Me? No. I'm just a man with sunglasses. I like wearing sunglasses inside. Sunglasses and a fucking wig.
Okay.
Просто логика. Ладно.
I'm just looking out for...
No one. I'm just a man with sunglasses. And you are?
Yes, a policewoman who just wants to do her job.
Something about the man with sunglasses and you, the energy between you two, is making her uncomfortable.
Again? I can't believe this shit.
Кажется, ему и правда не верится. Ну, блин, ну тут...
I'm going to say no. God fucking shit.
Okay, I was clearly wrong. He is a firefighter, male nerd.
Okay. You're not going to believe this, but police officers, yes sir, solving crimes, locking up bad guys, and get this, and not getting that drink on at 2 o'clock. Just some regular boring motherfuckers in suits and uniforms. Nothing spectacularly extravagant like you, the far-out son of Lang. Let's be crazy. Let's say you and I are partners. How's that for a thought experiment? None taken, my friend. None taken. Let's be honest. There's been some purely fictional talk in our imaginary station in regards of who'd even be worthy of your partnership. And the conclusion is that a man with your caliber should form his own one-man policing unit. Anyone else would just slow you down. Neither can I, partner.
Yes?
Ну, большего мы от них не добьемся. Перезагружаться я опять не хочу. Что было, то прошло. Большего нам от них не добиться. Так, какие у меня еще есть делища? А, даже смотри-ка, уже пролистывать не надо. Уже списочек такой там нормальный. Найдите... А, ну пойдем искать этого мужа криптозоолога этого. Что еще время раннее. Одно дело мы закрыли. Можно закрыть еще несколько. Или скушать шиш-кебаб, например.
The worn and beaten.
You can revisit.
А, ну да, нам Ким не разрешает сесть на скамейку, я забыл. Ким злой. Не разрешает мне на скамейке сидеть.
Okay, the sea's gonna calm down soon. I can feel it. The wind is turning southeast. What's on your mind, officer?
Кстати, это моя мотокарета там в воде лежит. Да, это я ее утопил. Пьяненький был. Там удостоверение мое лежало.
Oh? Who? I don't think I know what these are. Care to elaborate? Aha! Like Snow, two old guys have been wandering around here, nose in sand, talking nonsense about don't really know. Further down the peninsula, I guess. I mean, that's... Well, how can I assist you then, officer?
Так, ну дальше исследовать место для свидания нам надо найти. И плюс еще Ким рядом. Надо от Кима отказаться. Ким, уходи. Тебе здесь больше не рядом. Понятно. Куда нам незачем идти? Может быть, они в церкви, на самом деле? В церковь-то я еще не заходил. Накрыл движение весь механизм. Должно быть очень большое. Охеренно. Надпись за экраном у меня появилась.
An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been opened in a long while.
It's military, a service depot of some sort. The washerwoman mentioned a depot up the coast. She said it was for moving ammo and cargo across the bay. This might be it.
Надушенный шар. Ну, походу, мы до края карты дошли. Опа! Белая рубашка пола, риторика, эмпатия и денежка. Так, конечно, все это обходить не очень удобно. Так, погоди, а я могу себе технику, в принципе, качать, хотя у меня она и так 5. Почему сами вот эти показатели не меняются? Ну там процентов 5 добавят.
An old door, worn by elements,
А, даже вообще
guards
ничего не
the
добавил.
depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been opened. You rattle the handle a bit, then push on the door.
We don't get in there. Frankly, you're just going to have to accept the...
No. We've gotten into every door thus far. That's what we do. We open doors. We're cops.
Yeah, I understand you. I like opening doors as much as the next guy. But this one is simply beyond repair, and we don't have the resources needed to open it. Relax. No one's hiding in there. If we can't open it, others can't either. And thus they can't get in.
At least you can think about opening it. About doors in general. They are, after all.
Очередная мысль. Еще одна дверь. Нравится. Проклятие. Не может такого быть. Это позор. Та дверь на побережье. Ты ведь помнишь ее, верно? Та, что ведет в заброшенный склад снабжения. Ну почему во имя всего святого она не открывается? Почему? Должен быть какой-то способ пробраться за эту неоткрываемую дверь. Боги, ты же полицейский. Перед тобой все двери должны быть открыты. Что подумают твои коллеги в участке, если ты чертову дверь не можешь открыть? Должен быть способ. Так, а что нам это даст? Еще одна дверь, ну-ка. У меня тут все ходы записаны, между прочим. Че? Где у нас? Еще одна дверь. Пока она решается +1 сумрак. Потом -1 сумрак. Без страха. Плюс разблокированы все белые проверки навыков психики. Что? Понятно, тогда загрузить. Что я очко техники, мне оно нахер не упало. Не, ну погоди, но если есть вариант... То есть у меня просто навыка техники не хватает. То есть технически...
The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been opened in a long while. You see a handle. You rattle the handle.
Нет, но 3% шанс все равно уже есть.
Frankly,
no.
Yeah, relax.
At least you can think.
Так хотя бы у меня обзорность побольше. Нам же не нужно прям максимально близко находиться. А так хотя бы буду видеть, что вокруг происходит. Денежка. Опа.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with. You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I'm Tran Heilostam. You must be Kim Kituragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here.
Почему он Кима знает, а меня нет?
Hypertext.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, hypertext. Young Carp and the collection of cultural hyperlinks. Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. So they didn't have windows on the south wall. No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers. Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into Worms lately.
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor, or someone who's been on too many radio shows.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in 08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
Wow, get a load of this guy. He really enjoys his trivia. The Orbis programming language was named after its inventor, Victor Orbis, a cybernetician from Grad. They run Vox in the Occidental countries.
Aha, but it's not just any empty old building. What not a lot of people know is this used to be the R&D department of Felt Electrical, and Felt, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom.
It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains. They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve, or should I say they were developing an ace up their sleeve? I'm mixing my metaphors here. It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer. An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution, revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bring them to the average consumer. Which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rehm, ICN and ZAM, haven't achieved yet.
He assumes something like a combat stance, facing the wind.
Indeed. What?
The revolution!
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes, possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins. All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D. Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war.
A pleasure wheel?
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cybernetics. But history had other plans. Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers...
He means that the boys got shot by the communists. The boys were bourgeois.
Грузский Хель. Он имеет в виду, что им прострелили головы, потому что они принадлежали к буржуазии. Ты знаешь, что такое буржуазия?
Tape computers. They used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases, the most notorious example being Le Décret de Mars. What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created Commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02.
A short-lived legislative foundation for a short-lived utopia.
It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Bon Baiser dans le Lind. You should read. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paying any attention.
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book, already forgetting about this part of the discussion.
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it, they were very elegant, exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware.
Buckle up.
10 years ago,
Ну,
I
понеслась.
did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Womty Dumpty Dum Center in Vredefort, Oranje. It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was head curator at the time. This was before the twins Keith and Guy Jews joined the team, trying to...
Wait, did he just say Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center?
Wumpty Dumpty Dum, да?
What the hell is a Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center? And who the hell are Keith and Guy Juiced?
Походу, он конкретно выбесил энциклопедию.
The Womty Dumpty Dum Center for Contemporary Arts. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ockerman, chose to...
Это вы все это выдумали. Ким, он же все это выдумал?
In fact, I'm not. The Womty Dumpty Dum Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research center. But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform operations, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing.
Made of black film and folding tape structures.
Very, very cool. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to this precious device. But so they did. The felt playback experiment vanished into the fires of 07. Yes, the official name of the prototype. Some sources report it as the felt playback experience, but those are incorrect. Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want... But of course, what else?
Вы выглядите так, как будто у вас водятся деньги. У вас есть деньги?
I do have some money, yes, but that's not what's really important here.
No, I mean, come on. You need the money. If it's not a thing, he can give you some.
Of course, Detective. I wouldn't have assumed anything else. Matter of fact, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but the Vespertine Department of Justice has published a rather interesting paper on the criminal profiling in former socialist states. Have you read it? If not, then you definitely should. If not for tips and tricks, then just for theoretical curiosity. Anyway, that's just a little something that sprang to mind. You were saying?
Forget it. They don't sell those kind of books at crime, romance, and bio...
No, thanks to you for having me and little Mikhail here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed.
Pick your brain? If anything, this was rather one-sided. He did the talking.
Да, беседа была довольно односторонней, согласен. Клен.
You see a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years. A slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now, only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, "Tomorrow is just a whisper away."
Неплохой слоган.
Looks like tomorrow never came.
Опа! Ха-ха! Ипа! Опа! Тело забрали? Да, тело забрали.
There's some tear.
Не, ну почему смерть? В падении с 20 метров в воду ты не умрешь. Ну только вода ледяная. Как бы приятного мало. О, погоди, я могу это? Опа. Открытка. Ну, что-то я не нахожу места, где свиданку можно организовать. Может быть, все-таки в церкви? А, и этих ребят я не нахожу. Криптозоологов этих.
Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height, stand shut in front of you. The rectangular sea-worn ornamentation appears in stark contrast to the padlock, carelessly drilled into the wood. The carving on the door is block-like and angular, like the church itself. Two large beams shoot downwards, sinking into the wood before they reach the threshold. The surface is smooth from the wind, but moist to the touch. This cheap-looking padlock is sturdily built. It shackles together a hasp and a staple screwed into the wooden door. It'll be easier to break the staple than the lock. Also, that sticker is interesting. You see a yellow circle with two X's and a big curve below them that looks like a mouth. You're pretty sure you haven't seen it before, but what the symbol depicts is clear enough. A smiling dead guy. The curve makes it smile, and the X's make it dead. There is something blindingly modern about this symbol. Its modernness puts to shame everything you've seen before. It's the contrast between the cheery, chemical yellow and the rigor mortis. He takes off his glasses and uses a blue handkerchief to thumb.
No. Looks like a dead man smiling. Suggests junior delinquency.
Что здесь указывает на малолетних правонарушителей?
I haven't seen that sticker before, and I'm not a youth. That level of conceptual thinking is not part of my skill set.
There's nothing like the sound of a sticker unpeeling. Now it's stuck to your thumb. looks very modern. You're part of the future brigade now, and so is your formerly humdrum ledger. Neon, baby. The lock turns easily. You hear a click as the shackle pops open.
Let's go.
A great whoosh of air rushes into the dark innards of the church, as though rushing to fill a great vacuum. In the heart of the city.
Посмотрим, что там за церковь. Сразу же мысль появилась. Ты смотришь вперед, где на стороне спокойствия. Здесь нужно идти, а не бежать. С учетом того, как он не торопясь ходит, я бы предпочел все-таки бежать. Тут же снаружи зубчатая молния. Следы короедов не тоже специально рисовал. Но внутри она гораздо внушительнее, чем снаружи. Я запомнил про мне все по сети. Контактные микрофоны.
The silence in this part of the church, it's almost palpable. All the shifting matter and shuffling of living things is gone. Maybe if you were to stand in just the right spot, even your footsteps would be completely silent. And then it's gone. Almost all of it, but for the faintest of hums. It seems the sound here is detached from its source somehow, if not blotted out outright. Truly unusual. You can hardly hear your own breathing. You produce a few muffled thumps, after which the silence feels even more total. Your voice is barely audible. Not a howl. The lieutenant points to his ears and shakes his head. Then he leans closer.
Can you hear anything? I wonder why the church was built with such strange acoustics.
Maybe the church was designed this way to prevent boisterous activity, singing and dancing on its premises.
Could be.
He doesn't seem entirely convinced, though. The orderly rows of ceiling panels become barely visible, then disappear completely in the darkness of the tower overhead.
Ну, естественно. Естественно, неудача, конечно.
Just darkness without end. It makes your head spin. Filled with vague shapes of woodwork. There's nothing.
Officer, what are you looking at?
You see something hanging from the rafters. Maybe it's possible to talk to it. Is that a man? Looks more like part of the carpentry of the building came alive and is now studying you intently. The man leaned forward a little, fixing you with a steady, unreadable gaze.
Habitual alcohol use has made you into a scared little pussy, Holmes. But don't worry, everything's gonna be alright. You come to the right place.
That accent is Villalobos, a peninsula in Mesk and a district in Jamro. There's a sizable contingent of Villalobos-speaking Mesks in Rivershore.
Here you can receive the mother's love. And when you're ready, she will take your hand and lift you out of the despair at the bottom of that bottle.
This man is obviously a habitual narcotics user. Do we really need to question him?
Hey, and what was that about the bottle again?
Опять
You
электрохимия.
haven't even drank that much lately. Lay off it already. Shish.
Está crudo, way. I see deep inside you. Your body and your spirit are suffering greatly from overindulgence, and you don't even know it. I was like you once, just dragging my feet to the next bottle. Shit was dark, Holmes.
You know, actually, since we're here, you may want to pay attention to what the ceiling climber is saying.
Look at these crazies. What is this shit?
Долбоёбы какие-то.
Don't trust me. Trust the mother. I'm only the messenger, Holmes.
Messenger Holmes. Latino.
This is the Church of the Mother of Silence. You are welcome here.
You have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Is he just trying to throw you off your game? Whatever it is, he's quite confident about it. Just look how gracefully he sways. 'Tis not an act, my liege. Save him perchance, he hath deceived his very self. This man is a zealot.
Up there, Holmes. I am, at least in part, Holmes. Into the mother's love burns away the cruel distinctions of the body.
What does he mean, in part?
Haven't you ever met a Mex before? Cabrón. Surprising number of us around Rabbit Shop.
Мне нравится. Он сказал каброн, но при этом в субтитрах написали «Эль идиота». Ну, то есть, блядь, какая разница, если вы все равно, типа, на иностранном пишете, так чё каброн не написать? То есть, чем «Эль идиот»? Ну, в принципе, каброн, конечно, это да. Это сильно грубее, чем «Эль идиота», но...
You know, I'm not so sure myself anymore. Don't really matter though. Glad you're feeling more comfortable. First timers are always nervous. Oh man, I would love to see that statue. I'm sure I'd be trespassing if the church was in use. But it's not, hombre. I done my share of illegal shit. Used to be in a gang, the whole deal. But even memories of that time are fading. Most of them are already gone. No, man, you gotta let that shit go. Then the mother's light touch will fill you with rapture.
Do you remember your name, sir?
Tiago's my name, but those syllables don't mean much to me these days. A name isn't just your identity, but also, so to speak, your place amongst your fellows, your place in the world. I ain't got no use for such a place anymore. That's just the thing, Holmes. None of that matters. This is a special place. There's a perforation in the world up there, a way out into nothingness. This church was built around it for purposes of veneration.
Вряд ли у нас здесь получится клуб
I
организовать.
circled it, nurtured by the silence bestowed by the mother. One of these days, I'll be pure enough to go drink from it directly. Oh, that's no simple question, Ese. She is one who can be painted or sculpted. She is a cavity in the dark beyond sense. She saved me, but I couldn't describe her to you. No one can, Holmes. And I will be incinerated, but not destroyed. Finally, at one with the state of the world before reality began.
That sounds a bit like substitution behavior, no? You know a thing or two about that.
It's not like that at all, man. It's just faith and joyful service.
Too gleeful, those words. He is lying. Not to you, to his very own self.
I heard that before, Way. And I know I can't convince you on the spot. But think, when's the last time you woke up from silent communion with a hangover, regretting what you did last night? I know it will take time. Don't sweat it. I'm a seraph, Holmes. I sing the mother's glory. I ain't from no Marietti, if that's what you're thinking. And the song I sing is silent as the mother.
Marietti is a mesque style of music and dance, commonly seen at all manner of festivities, especially weddings. It's delightfully quaint, owing to its peasant origins. He lost his cool there for a moment. Seems you hit some nerve. Wait, he says he didn't remember anything about being mesque, and now he remembers this.
Things come back in flashes when something reminds me. Sometimes they even seem important again, really important. But then, thanks to the mother, they're gone again. But I was talking about the singing of a burning heart. Hard to say. I think a distant construct. Been spending a lot of time.
The sinewy figure lingers on the
police raid.
Did you witness it?
Not really. Or at least I don't remember much of it any. The ones in the tent outside, right? I see them, think they scared of me. Nah, man. They look pretty funny. And I don't harm no one anymore. And why not? They wouldn't bother me none. I'm usually way up there, imbibing. Ain't no music on earth that can reach where I go. Might even be nice to have some company. Other spooker? Oh, esa viejita es muy estudiosa.
The Aita is Grandma?
No. I just call her viejita because of her clothes. She's actually quite young. Or maybe not that young. That's what I said, home. Don't really follow her. I'm afraid not, ese.
Or search through her radio computer.
Радиокомпьютер, значит, башмачки халявные. Давай, интенсивнее, а то это займет время. Опа, эмпатия. Ну-ка, ну-ка. Ну-ка, ну-ка, что мне дают? Самообладание, но минус эквилибристика. А эти чисто эмпатия. Ух, какие стильные, бля. Красные башмаки мискийского гангстера. То есть он все-таки гангстер. Понятно. Понятно. Гангстер он, значит. Ну и тогда это и деньги тоже заберу. А что он думает? И они же ему не нужны. Он уже познал там это. Преисполнился. Поэтому что ему деньги-то уже? И башмаки ему тоже нахер не упали.
In white, silver, and apricot faience, the young mother of humanism stands above you. A crack runs across her body. She is impossibly tall, oval-faced and sad. This is her innocence, Dolores Day. Cradled in her arms are a pair of glowing lungs, clearly visible from underneath her flowing dress. You should kneel. Cold wind seeps in from the crack in the glass. Snowdrifts cover the floorboards at your feet. Above, you feel her multicolored eyes on you. The woman looks down at you standing there. She towers among her followers, architects, laymen, courtiers. She acknowledges the passing of someone who is still alive. As that soft word passes through your mind, the lieutenant draws an X-shaped cross from shoulder to shoulder. Your fingertips touch your chest 4 times as you stand in the apricot-colored light of the window. Above you, the woman still smiles.
The old woman in the village was right. This must be the DeLorean Church of Humanity in Martinez, or the small Pinewood Church in some records. It's a minor landmark, not easy to find. Most maps misplace it. It was built not long after Revachol's founding, 300 or so years ago.
On the coast of an uninhabited archipelago where only animals had room to
Ясненько.
in the
There used to be 7 stave churches on the coast. Les Sept Sœurs, they call them. The 7 Sisters. Only one remains. The rest were burnt in the revolution or used for building materials. We should be respectful here, although the building appears to be deserted. I do not believe we'll find anything connected to the lynching here. Something else, perhaps?
Respectful? Is the lieutenant a follower of DeLoreanism? Despite the damage you've done to yourself, the title appears lodged in your hippocampus. This is her innocence, Dolores Day. The innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state. Perhaps the most famous human being ever to have lived.
Нэнси, ты что, крышей поехал, что ли? Почему я тебя разбанил, но сообщение все равно блокируется? Если бы не предложка, какая нахуй предложка? Что ты несешь, дядя?
No amount of Commodore Red can wipe her sad smile from your brain thing. It has survived the deluge and haunts you still, and will haunt you forever, as it haunts all men.
Да, ребрендинг был. Скоро название поменяю, а потом канал удалю, не волнуйся.
An embodiment of the world spirit.
Как раз ты как этот, как всадник апокалипсиса. Вернулся Нэнси, значит пора удалять канал. Ой.
More, an innocence is elected to office by the founding party, a precedent that has taken place a mere 6 times in the entirety of history. The legal system of the Real Belt is built to accommodate an authentic rule should it coincide with our time. An innocence is infallible. The decisions made by one are not decisions. They are inevitabilities. What would have happened anyway?
Привык стримить 1-2 человека? Да, это я угораю.
Instead of centuries. An innocence is a continuous,
Я его каждый день хочу удалить.
a sacred human being. It is an honor and a glory to live when one is in office. No, we are alone.
Да я говорю, если внезапно у нас Twitch заблокирует, я как бы с радостью вообще слезу с этой игры. Ну, потому что я уже реально, у меня уже как вторая работа.
300 years
Я бы с
ago,
удовольствием
in
уже
the
давно
wake of
перестал
the
об этим
discovery
заниматься.
of this Isola, the Insulindian, by explorers from the continent of Muindi, She is, among other things, the innocence of inter-esolary travel and the connected world. Many things, you know she was a woman of the court, the wife of an influential Marchese, and eventually the principal advisor to Irene la Navigateur, Queen of Serene, modern-day Sir La Clé, also that she was gorgeous beyond beauty. Terribly, women of the court were expected to play both contract bridge and chess sufficiently well to prove an interesting challenge to a man. A simple grasp in matters of philosophy, theology, and science was encouraged. She was, by all means, a kept woman. She made the most of her position in the antediluvian court, a court visited by the most prominent thinkers and artists of the day. In secret, she was becoming the era's preeminent philosopher of the state, a scalpel, a piercing gaze. She was an almost preternaturally magnetic and intelligent individual. To her contemporaries, she appeared out of time,
Энциклопедия, что
a
человек?
messenger
Это
from the
внутренний
future
голос.
of the species.
Это наша
We all
внутренняя
fell in love with her,
энциклопедия.
head over heels. Even it was on her advice that Irene la Navigateur sponsored a number of voyages into the Pale.
Это идет внутренний монолог, ну, диалог в голове главного героя. Это типа энциклопедия, это просто то, что он знает. Она обозвана энциклопедией.
She was crowned 2 years after the first expedition returned, setting in motion what is widely considered the greatest era in
Ого,
history.
да пофиг.
Wow, indeed. When her innocence was declared, and the queen she had advised for years fell on her knees before her, she was so overcome with emotion that her lungs started glowing in her chest. Bystanders reported golden filaments lighting the already sunlit chamber around her, clearly visible beneath her dress. That is why the lungs are the symbol of love for the cultures of the Real Belt.
Ну, так много лишней
As did
информации.
we all. The lands of the Mesk and the Occident, and even far away Supremwindi, altogether 21 of the 40 Mundial nations of the time, immediately accepted
Кстати, они ведь все это
innocent
придумали
rule,
зачем-то.
even before her crowning.
Сейчас
In
зачем-то
a
мне про
city
это
called
рассказывают.
Advesperaskit in Vesper Messina, her homeland, the name of the city means evening comes, but it happened on a winter's morning, with the canals frozen and slush falling out of the sky. She was dressed in a white and pearl dress on an emptied-out plaza with the crowd far away. Already her Therias, oh yes, she looked like humanity's young mother, a perfect mother, insultingly beautiful. It was as if her face and shoulders and hands were covered in a soft down of underfeathers. Midwinter snow was beating the cobblestones around her. A small attaché of officials stood by as her Therias placed a white gold wreath on her head. The crowning was mostly witnessed by Secret Servicemen. One of the men in this Secret Service killed her 22 years later. A young man who had come to suspect that Dolores Day was not entirely human. Something that had walked in our midst, watching us stumble for hundreds, if not thousands of years, until it decided to interfere in the course of our history. We were supposed to come up with this ourselves, the man was reported to have screamed at the innocents. Dolores Day was shot in the chest with a fowling piece.
Захочешь уже 8 раз,
The
господи.
man, thought to be insane, said he once touched her and her body had been unnaturally warm, like a furnace, and that sometimes, while on duty, he observed her forgetting to breathe for over 10 minutes.
Но он действовал наверняка.
This inhuman quality was witnessed by many others as well, glowing lungs and all. It is commonly attributed to mass hysteria and religious psychology. Terrifying is a term too emotionally charged for your semantic memory, or what remains of it. Although she is often considered to be the greatest human being to ever live, there was something ominous about Dolores Day. She was the most socially secluded and least self-aware of all the innocences. Some modern thinkers would consider her a war criminal for the campaigns she waged against the Mesk state. And then there were the resettlement programs. The Mesk state tried to detach itself from innocentic rule. Parts of the world were experiencing whiplash from accelerated into secularism. Her mandatory education programs and mass resettlement of upstream Marguerite were problematic, suggesting those who fight against it. She adored chess, yes, but also military war games. Little is known of her Marchese husband. It's as if he vanished from this subtle terror is part of...
Lieutenant Yefreitor, you've stood there for over 5 minutes.
Ну извини, блин, библиотека моя внутричерепная никак не заткнется.
What are you thinking of, if I may ask?
Сидящие Люхи, хрень какая-то.
That she is. A great sacred piece. I wonder what we are doing here, however. In this church, I mean. The coast in general. Yes, we all are. Her name, body, and rule are synonymous with humanism. The laws we enforce are Delorian in origin. It's not spiritual, it's constitutional. The Delorian system does not demand faith, only accordance.
The shards glimmer in the dark. You see little pearls.
Надо было...
The mother of humanism.
Блять, надо было... Сука! Ладно. Не, это я... Блять, ладно, сука. Ладно. Похуй, ладно. Похуй, ну похуй. А чё? Ну похуй, ладно.
In white, this is cradled in her. Your knees touch the floor. The floorboards are hard and cold. The world is silent, but for the creaks and cracks of the massive wooden structure. The woman looks down at you kneeling. She towers among her followers, architects. She acknowledges the passing of someone as that soft word. Your fingertips touch your chest 4 times. Then you rise from your knees.
The old woman, it's a minority.
On the coast of an...
They used to... We should be
respectful.
Yes, we all are. Her name... It's not spiritual. It's constitutional.
Despite no amount of Commodore, the highest category, in a way, and innocence, no. 300 years, many things, terribly. She made the she was crowned, wow, that is why the lungs, as did in a city, she was dressed in a whitened, oh yes, midwinter snow, one of the men, something that Dolores, this inhuman quality, terrifying, although she was the Mesk suggesting she adored, little is known, this subtle.
Lieutenant, what are you thinking of, if I may ask? That she, in this church, I mean, the coast in general. We shouldn't linger.
Теперь еще раз сохраняемся.
The mother of humanism.
И еще разок.
The shards glimmer in...
Логично, логично, переигрываем. Quick save abuse. Все по классике.
The mother of humanism.
И еще разок.
Jigsaw of broken shards falls into place in front of you. A ghostly reconstruction of the stained glass window. Before it was shattered, there was an older woman beneath the younger one, and a text, a light motif below them both. Unknown. A motor carriage, a gunshot, someone falling into it, or maybe just hooligans looking for something to break. The escutcheon on her throne says, Irene the Navigator. She is depicted as an older woman wearing thick-rimmed eyeglasses, holding a golden rights apfel in one hand and a scepter in the other. The small figures of wise men. Below both women, in luminous black letters, Après la vie, mort. Après la mort, la vie de nouveau.
Классно. А что это значит?
Along the left side, Après le monde, la gré. Après le gré, le monde, after life, death. After death, life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, the world again. This is the great leitmotif of humanism. A summary of the effect of the discovery of this
Лейтенант,
Esau,
когда здесь было
the
написано?
Insulindian, on human
Я думаю, он
thinking.
в курсе.
A tremendous seed.
Death, life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, the world again. This exaltation is common in Dolorian sacralism. In the early years, it was deemed subservient to use a strongly moral intern-related motto. We already suspected of bootlicking. The sentence was also seen as too feminine. It was a macho thing. Justice, union, prudence, and force.
Не забывают, что Бога бояться нужно.
Not at all.
The mother of humanism towers above you.
Так, ладно, это мы потом тогда. Надо работать идти. Хватит смен сегодня. Ой, ладно. Если там живой кто есть, давайте тогда до связи. Не болейте. Пока. Видимся как-нибудь еще. На днях. А может и нет, кто знает. Посмотрим.